Yeah. Hello and welcome to the Community Beehive. If you're new here, hi, my name is Bee and I live full-time in this Ford Transit van. And today we're going to be talking about the downsides of van life. And I'm going to do my best to make sure I share with you all of the information and resources on van life so that you can decide if it's for you. So in a way, I'm sharing knowledge with you that could potentially de-influence you from van life. And the first thing on our to-do list today is use the restroom and take out the trash. Before we grab the trash and start heading to the closest porta potties, I do want to let you know that I do have a toilet and a way to use the restroom in the van, but that just means then I have to dispose of it. I'm gonna get myself strapped up and ready, and then we're gonna go find porta potties, and then we're also gonna go on a morning hike and discuss more things about van life. And one last important thing that you must know is I have been manifesting this lifestyle of van life since I was like 15 or 16 years old. Shout out to my uncle who lived in a Volkswagen and he traveled making art. And that is why I am now living on the road, and in the next few videos you will see I'm going to be reopening my art shop. And if you're interested on more up-to-date information on that, be sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Community Beehive, because I give more up-to-date updates there just because it's a lot quicker than YouTube. Okay, enough yapping, let's go. Okay, and before we go, I have one little van life tip for you, and that is save brown paper bags, save plastic bags. When we're road tripping, I will put plastic bags on the armrest of the van and then just throw away little trash that we may be eating, just all the things. And then also these are really good. I prefer plastic bags because then I can tie them up and drop them. I feel like with paper bags, they can get kind of big sometimes. But my cats eat wet food, and if I leave wet food in my regular trash too long, it'll just really start to smell. So before I stop and really de-influence you on van life, I'm taking care of my priorities first. Taking out the trash, getting my steps in for the day, and doing the dog walk early. That one's a non-negotiable. An early walk is the best way to wear her out and give us both a better day. Sometimes van life looks exactly like what you imagine it might. Waking up in a Walmart parking lot, doing your laps between rows of cars, trying to romanticize asphalt and shopping carts. And then, sometimes mornings look like this. A cozy little spot tucked near what basically feels like a dog walking paradise. Long hikes, muddy trails, bridges, wildlife everywhere, and mountains sitting quietly in the background. Which is kind of funny and maybe a little counterintuitive, considering the point of this video is to show you less dreamy parts of van life. Because while I'm talking about the downsides, I'm also very aware that this morning looks pretty magical. And that's part of the truth too. Van life lives somewhere between parking lots and paradise. Both exist, sometimes in the same week and sometimes in the same morning. We have one last stop on our journey before we finally get into the conversation of de-influencing you from van life. And one of the least glamorous aspects of van life is if you don't have a bathroom, then sometimes this could be yours.
Oh. Nope, we're not using that one, Indy. Sorry, we're gonna have to squeeze in a small one.
Yeah, it can be gross when your toilet situation can depend on the public keeping it clean. And while I do have the ability to use my own restroom, like I mentioned before, that means that I would have to dispose of it. So while it is gross, I am still very thankful for porta potties in the wild. And if I'm honest, the last clip is something that I tend to see at music festivals more than I see in these public porta potties. So I was definitely shocked to see that one this morning. Alrighty. Also, we're currently filming this at one of my favorite duck and dog parks, and so there are dogs walking around. You may hear humans, you may hear dogs barking, you may hear planes. Because we are close to the city, there might be noise, so I apologize if any of that is distracting the video. Now that we've walked about 2 miles, let's get into de-influencing you from van life. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the bathroom situation. Now, for me personally, I know that there's a ton of different ways that people can use the bathroom on the road. But for me personally, I've been doing van life for about 2 years, and before I did van life, I did RV life. And then before RV life, I did car life for a very short period of time. Now, the bathroom situation is a little different for everyone. That's easy to dispose of, clean, not a problem. Number 2 is a little bit more tricky, but I do have this portable toilet. And when I got this pack on Amazon, it was the toilet, it was black trash bags, and then it was this goo, or it's this powder that turns your waste into goo, and then I dispose of it in a dumpster. So sometimes if I don't want to set up my toilet or gas out my partner in the van, like, trust me, there have been times where we're in the middle of a city and some cities are very terrible with bathrooms, and I have been like, I'm so sorry, and I have to pull out the toilet and then I'll use the restroom, and then we find a dumpster to throw it away in. Another van life con is trash in general. So we just talked about throwing away trash, but trash can be hard to come by. And a lot of businesses, a lot of dumpsters will have a $500 dumping fee with a camera right there. So what I often try and do is maybe dress myself up. I'm still gonna use the trash can if I can, because it's trash. Like, why are you getting upset? If someone could explain that in the comments to me, like, why is it a problem to throw trash away in a dumpster? Like, I understand that it's your dumpster. If someone came and, like, my trash was at the end of the road and someone came and threw their trash into my trash, I'm not gonna be mad because someone is gonna come and take all the trash anyways. There have been some places that are really awesome and they leave their dumpsters open or unlocked, and there is no dumping fee written on the dumpster itself, which is awesome. Something that I tend to do, which is a really good van life tip that I had briefly mentioned at the beginning of the video, was bringing bags. So unfortunately in the west side, well, fortunate for nature, unfortunate for us humans, is plastic bags are not easy to come by in Colorado. I'm from Florida. We don't have any pay for bags at all, which we probably should, but we don't. And I'm really grateful. So whenever I go back home to Florida, I stock up on as many bags as I can. Like, I'll steal them from family, from friends, and I will just stockpile them because I know that I love to live on the west side of the country. So trash can be really hard to come by. Like I said, save yourself some bags, make little bags, and then when you go to gas stations, when you're going to a store and they have trash outside, if I'm going to, a Walmart or wherever, I can take my trash of the day and throw it away. And that really keeps trash minimal in the van because you don't have a weekly trash man coming and picking up your trash. Trash can be a little bit of a challenge, but I feel as if I have figured out a really great way to maneuver around that. Other van life cons. Taking a shower. Okay, so currently I have a few different ways that I take a shower. My least favorite way, but most convenient way, is Planet Fitness. And I even made a TikTok recently about it being my least favorite way to take a shower. But Planet Fitness is very convenient because for the most part in every big city or town that you go to, for the most part, it's very common to see a Planet Fitness. Therefore, you can take a shower, you can hit the gym, all the things. Now, this year, we were going to be living on a mountain. Things have slightly changed a little bit, and I go more in depth on my Patreon podcast about all of the lore on what went down and why we are not going to be living full-time on the mountain anymore. But that is okay. It was a really fun experience for the month or so while we did it. Taking a shower, we currently have a 3-month, because when you pay for it, you have to do 3 months, which is fine, a rec center. And the rec center she's so beautiful. She has a rock climbing wall, she has all the workout equipment, she has yoga class, workout classes, she has a pool, she has a hot tub inside, a hot tub outside, she has a sauna, favorite part, and The only downside to that is it's a hit or miss with the heat. For the most part, it's pretty not hot. And I like my showers hot. Like, I want to see the steam bellowing out of the shower before I step in. I love a hot shower. I love it so much. Now, Planet Fitness is also a hit or miss. Sometimes you will get chilly showers, and if you're not getting chilly showers, when someone flushes the toilet, it can make it chilly. So I like to opt to go to Planet Fitness like late at night or in the middle of the day on a weekday when no one should be there for the most part, because I enjoy a really hot shower. And the Planet Fitness that I mostly frequent at when I'm in Colorado, close to the Denver area, I have a specific Planet Fitness that I enjoy that's just close to all the things that I like. My favorite dog parks, it's close to the mountains, semi-close to Red Rocks, and I have figured out which shower is the hottest because I've showered in all of the showers, and there's one specific shower that is the hottest shower, which is great. Okay, we have covered the bathroom situation, the trash, and taking showers. So we have a total of 4 ways to shower. We went over Planet Fitness. The rec center is normally a miss, but if I'm working out a lot, I just was in the hot tub, I was in the sauna, I don't mind a lukewarm, warm shower. I don't need a boiling hot shower because I was just in a sauna. Now, hands down, my favorite way to shower. Hands down. I wish there was a membership for it. A Love's, I said it, a Love's gas station shower. Now, the showers do range from like $10 or $12 to $18, but let me tell you, it is 100% worth it. Now, let me explain why. It's worth it because they give you a washcloth, they give you a towel, and then they have a foot towel. The water is always boiling hot. The water is always boiling hot. Another thing about the Love's gas station is there is normally a cart in the hallway and an attendant. So when you leave, there's someone going in right after you that is cleaning it, wiping it down. When you walk into the shower that you just paid for, it is clean. It is not clean, it is spotless. It is like it's a brand new shower, and it's so hot. And I will take my time. I will do like a full dry brushing, get all of the dead skin. I'll moisturize my face. I'll put oil in my hair. I'll massage my scalp. I'll cut my fingernails and my toenails if they're not already done, because that's a new thing that I've started in the van, is doing my own manicures and pedicures. If you guys want to see how I do that in the van, just drop it in the comments below. I would love to make a video for you on self-care in the van. But oh my Lanta. And unfortunately, Love's gas stations are not super common in the area that I'm in Colorado, which is really unfortunate. We had to drive across Denver onto the opposite side of Colorado to go to the Love's, but that's literally all I wanted. I think it was my New Year's gift to myself. I was like, I don't want to deal with anything else. I just want a really long Love's shower, and I will shower as long as I want, and I won't feel guilty about it. I'll get dressed, I'll do my hair, I'll do my skincare, and I will feel like a whole new person. Like, I wish that there was a membership to Love's. I literally am setting aside a little fund just for showering, because anytime I see a Love's, it's like, do I need to shower? Could I shower? Because chef's kiss, love a Love's, love a Love's. And my 4th way of showering is in the van. So I did not opt for a big built-in shower in the van because I felt as if that would take up too much space. I also don't mind struggle showers or Planet Fitness showers. I don't mind that because it gets me out of the van, it gets me to work out, it gets me in a new environment, and I kind of like the exposure, honestly. Like, yes, it is luxurious to have your own shower, but the way that I shower in the van is I open up the 2 back doors, and the same place that we fill up water, there's also a place where we can attach a hose. We currently do not have a water heater in the van, so it is possible and more than likely that the water is going to be ice cold. So I normally only opt to do that when we're in the desert, when we're out in nature, because I am going to be butt naked in the middle of nowhere. So when we're in BLM land, like, I remember taking a shower out in Utah multiple times, and out by Virgin, Utah, close to Zion National Park. You just open it up, you just make sure you're facing away from the road, and then you can shower out there. I do think I want to invest in like magnets or like a little thing to like put around, but it's also kind of nice to like shower and then have a beautiful view of wherever you are. The unfortunate thing for me in van life is I have been doing van life mostly in the wintertime, because every time something calls my attention and I have to go elsewhere. I haven't really gotten to experience a full summer in the van. It's always been winter, spring, a little bit of summer, and then you go right before like nature and everything gets really, really good. I was watching another van lifer that I really like. Her name is Asia, and she's the Strange Days Diaries. I don't think we're mutuals or anything. I've just been like for the most part, a silent follower, but I have a bunch of van lifers that I love to follow, and I was just watching a recap of her live, and she was talking about certain struggles in the van, and something that if you're going to do car life or van life, something that can be a struggle is condensation in the van. And when I was in the RV, I feel as if I had more condensation in the van. I also only have a small amount of windows in the van because windows are expensive, and my van came without windows, and we built the whole thing. So I am saving up to buy a window for the sliding door, and then we want another window on my partner's side of the bed, and then I also want a window behind my kitchen area. So those are works in progress. So I don't struggle with condensation, but I do know that when I lived in a car, when I did car life and I did RV life and I had an abundance of windows, condensation was a huge issue. Another thing that can be an issue when you're living in a vehicle is heat and AC. Thankfully, I have a diesel heater and I have an AC unit. Also, I have a heated blanket, so it keeps my bed all toasty and my cats can hang out. So I don't feel that weather is a huge struggle for me or a con. But if you don't have those things, like let's say you don't have heat and it's really cold outside, definitely invest in a heated blanket. Power can be a problem, so I have 3 different ways that I can charge batteries in my van. We have solar. We also have a charger, so when we turn on the van, the engine will charge the batteries. And then we also can plug in our van to a house or some sort of power source and get power that way, which is really awesome. So whenever we're parked at home or I'm parked at a friend's house or a family member's house, I can be like, hey, do you mind if I plug my van into your house? Which is awesome. Shore power, constant power in the van. So unless there's like snow on the solar panels, for the most part, it does pretty well for charging. We just have to be mindful. If I notice that we're low on power, instead of using my electric kettle, I'll pull out the stove and I'll boil water the old-fashioned way. I also have an electric cooktop, but I've noticed that that pulls so much power, so I just opt for my gas stove. And my very last thing that I would say is hard in van life, is laundromats. I have learned my way around laundromats, and I've gone to an abundance of different laundromats in my area. So I've kind of figured out my favorite one. And my favorite one is a laundromat that you pay for the washers, but then the dryer is free, which is awesome because sometimes if you have really thick loads, you need to dry them a couple of times. Like, it's so annoying to have to pay for a washer and then pay for a dryer. So paying for a washer and then getting a free dryer is just top tier. And in price comparison, they have such big sizes that the cost factor is, if not the same, then cheaper for sure. And so I like it because there's an abundance of washers and dryers. They also have a dog wash, which I just saw, and I've been going there for almost 2 years consistently to this certain laundromat. And I just saw in the back when I went to go use the restroom that they have a dog washing station. So maybe next laundromat day, we will wash my sweet pup as well. But that is all that I have for de-influencing you on van life. These are all of the cons. If there are more cons that you can think of, if you live on the road or if you've watched other people or if you just have a thought of something that could be a challenge, drop it in the comments. I would love to enhance the discussion a little bit more or hear other people's van life struggles. And before I leave, I want to let you know that living on the road is not easy. I am a very positive person. My baseline is happy. And there are times where I can find myself getting frustrated because it's a small space, hitting myself, hurting myself, just little inconveniences that come with living on the road. But I also can say that this lifestyle keeps me active. It gets me out to see the world. I get to meet new people all the time, and I truly love this lifestyle. I think even one day, whenever I decide to buy my own little piece of property and put a house on it, strictly just as an art studio, like I don't need a house, I just need a place to store all of my arts and crafts and to run my small business. But I think even when I reach that point, I still want to keep a van and have the ability to just go off grid at any point in time, to get into nature, to get away from humans, and just see the world. I am so grateful that you're here. If you're new here, be sure to like and subscribe so that you can stay up to date on all things van life. And if I've de-influenced you or influenced you on van life, let me know. I would love to know. And if you're interested on more behind the scenes stuff, what's truly going on, and maybe things that I don't share on my public forums of social media, be sure to check out my Patreon. And thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is B, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for being here. Farewell.